Hello, welcome to Game Over Gerkinman. This is Gerkinman, of course. We're here playing some of the Tomb Raider, that great game from last year. We've got two guests with us this week. I'm gonna get them to introduce themselves alphabetically, but here's the weird thing: they both start with the letter C, unless one of them uses their real name. It starts with A, so we'll do it that way.
Okay.
Okay, then, I'm Adam. Probably heard me from other, Game Over Gerkinman.
They would have by now, because this is following up the Wind Waker, so they should be quite familiar with it by now.
I'm not familiar with the chronology. I can't pronounce it tonight. It's 1 a.m., my bad. Okay, so, I'm Adam. I am a software engineer. I program games and stuff, and I do other stuff on the internet, and whatever. And you might have noticed that my voice is better. I got a snowball mic.
Yay!
Quite worth it. Quite worth it.
Great piece of kit.
Oh, it's my turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just noticing how Lara Croft really needs to take a shower. She's covered in all kinds of blood. There's like twigs and stuff in her hair. Man, this game is brutal. No, so I'm Casey. I'm the most popular of all of Gerkinman's friends on this show, clearly.
We did a study.
And I draw lots of arts and play lots of games, Tomb Raider among them. All of them except this one, so there you go.
That leads us directly to our next question, which is, because this is Adam's first time on this particular game, he's going to tell us his experience with the Tomb Raider franchise.
Well, I'm not sure I should quite say it, but basically, I got this for PlayStation 1. I think it was one of the first games I got it for PlayStation 1. I was originally an N64 kid, I got PlayStation later, so I got like maybe a couple years after it came out or whatever. And I noticed, my dad was very...
Oh, I thought
this is my only memory, this is like my only definite memory of the game, is... that my dad was trying very hard to find a topless code.
Oh yeah, there was that old topless code rumors back in the day, back before the internet.
It exists somewhere.
It doesn't exist.
Oh, it doesn't.
He was looking everywhere, and I was telling him it probably doesn't exist, but he wanted to find the damn thing. Sorry, Dad. You're cool.
It's what? She's clean.
Well, it's raining.
Sam!
Oh, she got clean very quickly.
It's magical rain.
Magic rain, yeah. Look at it getting all over the lens. It's cleaning the lens.
Do you know, it's funny because, like, that was, like, a lot of people's experience with Tomb Raider, actually. I don't think that a lot of people liked the game because it was legitimately good, because it wasn't. Let's face it. It was a bad game. It was terrible.
Was it a bad game? Was it a genuinely bad game? Was it just an okay game? With titties?
It's not a bad suggestion, that I know.
Oh no, don't die, Gerkinman, don't die! Okay, you're good.
This game is full of those little predetermined, all those little individual animated bits like that. You'll find when she's going across like the cliffs and that, she'll automatically put a hand out across the wall, like onto the walls for like support and to keep herself. It's full of all those really brilliant little animation touches like that that are completely dynamic.
That is nice. I was gonna say though, I don't know if it was considered a bad game or not at the time, but it's aged
pretty well. Yeah, it hasn't aged well.
It's aged terribly. But I think people just liked the character. I think that's all it came from. People just liked Lara Croft.
She had a voice and everything.
It was pretty risque for the mid-90s.
Yeah, because I mean the games themselves weren't really that inventive.
Is anyone listening?
I'm sure there were better games at the time.
I liked exploring around them, you know.
I don't know how many third-person action games there were back then. With an emphasis on exploration.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the last video, it was definitely one of the first, like, big exploration games that there was, so I don't know. Oh, you've only got one match!
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
You gonna do it?
I just wanted to like break it in half by accident. Just like,
look at that little fire animation. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's for little details.
But Yeah, I don't really know what made them popular. I want to say that it was probably just the character, but I don't know.
Well, I will say actually too, like
the
yeah,
character,
definitely a
absolutely.
character.
There's
But I mean,
nothing like it for video. There's nothing like it.
Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, of course, that always happens. As soon as I think, oh, should I stop talking?
No,
when should I talk?
no,
Maybe I
no,
shouldn't talk right now
say
because
the
you talk as soon
thing.
as I start
Say the
talking.
thing.
Say the
All
thing.
right. There was nothing like her for video games in the mid '90s.
No.
They were kind of pushing
That's
the
true.
boundaries there.
I think they're also pushing the boundaries of advertising. Her face was everywhere.
Yeah, it was.
She's on the hunt.
They wanted it to be like a Hollywood movie. I remember, like they advertised it. It was like starring Lara Croft or whatever, despite the fact that she's not a real person.
Sam, it's a serious
Yeah, it was kind of weird. And then they tried doing that with other characters after that. Other companies did, and you ended up with things like fucking Gex.
What are you so worried about?
Oh God.
I'm close to something. I'm sure of it.
Good grief. Yeah.
I just don't know if the
Gex
others
enter the
understand.
gecko.
That character annoyed the hell out of me. He just splurted out random,
Laura,
unfunny
you know stuff better than
catchphrases
anyone.
So did
for no
you.
reason,
Seriously.
without context throughout the levels.
Yeah.
There's an option to turn it off, I know, but still.
You got this,
Turn
Especially when
Gex
you're playing
off.
on the N64.
okay?
They didn't have enough memory as the PlayStation ROM. That
Also
is.
did half as many
And
clips.
he only had like 3 catchphrases for
Oh,
every
God.
level, and he keep repeating them over and over and over and over and over.
Oh God.
I hope you guys like cutscenes, because there's a few of them pretty early on in this game.
It's not just Sam's family funny.
Yeah, I
That's
like-
fine.
It's
I'm just trying to
exposition.
talk about like the way the game looks and stuff. But yeah, it's Tomb Raider is one of those things that I always want to be really good, despite the fact that it hasn't aged well and stuff. Like it's good that they can reboot it and bring it back as well as it is.
Was Anniversary
because
good though? I remember playing the demo of Anniversary on my 360, and I got to like the first puzzle and was like, I'm done.
I liked the remakes of it. Don't get me wrong. I actually enjoy like Legends and on all those. Like they're decent games. It's just that like I don't know. Tomb Raider's always just like. And this one is apparently really good.
I'd say
taking your
that,
word for it.
yeah, not that I can really say that it's the best in the franchise, because I haven't played the whole franchise, but I get the feeling that it is the best in the franchise.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I
get the
I
feeling that if you were to
why-
wait as long, if you were to play this in as many years as it was since the original Tomb Raider came out, this would hold up a lot better than
Yeah.
the original Tomb Raider does now. Because this was basically a reboot of the entire series.
Well, she's
I
more
mean,
of
they
a
can
reveal
do more,
character.
obviously, so
Yeah.
they're kind of right.
But I mean, like, this was also, if this is at the end of the generation, they've made 3 or 4 Tomb Raider games for last gen now systems. So I mean,
Well,
it took them a while to get to
We
this.
talked a little bit between recordings. We talked a little bit about like Sonic the Hedgehog and how like they keep trying to reboot that series and it keeps failing. And it's like
Well,
That's
that's
just
part of part of it is they're trying to pander to the fans, and those fans are never satisfied with what they get. Like, oh, they make Sonic the Hedgehog 4, and everyone's like, oh, his eyes are green. You know, that kind of crap. Why? Like, at this point, why would you even
I'd
bother?
say that that's
pandering to
half the
them?
problem. The other half of the problem is I keep forgetting that Sonic games are supposed to be fun.
yeah.
It's like they
Well,
never
that
play
too,
test.
but I mean-
They never play test their own games. Look, Sonic Generations, the first half of that game is alright.
Well, I think that's what like when with Tomb Raider and rebooting that, like you can clearly see here that they went for like a cinematic angle, which is kind of what they did with the first games as well. Like I remember in Tomb Raider 2, there's like a part like early on where you got to get like a boat and drive it through Venice, and you're like crashing into ships and stuff, you know, and it's like action packed for the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, when those games were at their worst was when they tried to be like puzzle games. When they were at their best was when they got into the action. And you can tell here that they went back to their roots on that.
Oh,
where
the
it's
actual
let's
like
make
the
it a
way you're
fucking
just
movie.
jumping around and climbing on stuff, like it all feels so like almost like an Assassin's Creed game. Like it all just feels really natural and tight and
Yeah, I mean it's like,
handles
that's-
beautifully.
That's clearly what makes this game good, you know, and they knew that from the get go.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
she's
sure they
getting
wanted
the
to do a lot more cinematic things with the original game, but they just, the
Just couldn't.
technology wasn't up to par with
Yeah.
it. So they felt like with the remake, they could finally do what they wanted to do all along.
Well, but this wasn't made by the original people that make Tomb Raider.
This is
I don't
Crystal
think.
Oh.
Dynamics.
Oh.
These guys made They've made the last like 5 or 6, I think.
Let's see if
Yeah, I
this
should
thing's
know
got
that. My bad.
Yeah,
Well,
like
you're
no,
familiar with
the
Crystal
first,
Dynamics, Adam.
but Roth's training.
well, the
What?
first few Tomb Raider
Did you
games
say
were made by
you're
some company.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm.
No, I was just gonna say, like, are you familiar with Crystal Dynamics, Adam?
I have a few friends who used to work there. A couple of
okay.
my old coworkers. So we talked about whatever, and they were talking about this game as well.
Oh, okay, so that was because this came out after they got bought out by Square Enix.
Huh.
Yeah.
What year was this?
This was last year.
Oh, last year. So they weren't working at Crystal Dynamics at the time, but they'd obviously talk about it because it's a game that they made. So.
Well, the original.
They did a good work.
The original Tomb Raider games are made by some company called Core Design. I think
That's
this is
right.
how Core
That's
Design,
right,
and I
that's
think
right.
they were owned or it was produced by Eidos Entertainment.
Yeah, that's right. Because Eidos
Yeah.
ended up getting bought out by Square as well, and they ended up they own Deus
Yeah,
Ex
that's
now.
why it's all. Yeah, yeah. I think Deus Ex was made by the. Well, cause see, and then there were the Thief games, which I
Yes!
believe made by.
They were
I don't know
Eidos
if that,
as
that
well.
was. Yeah, that was Eidos. I don't know what Core Design did after Tomb Raider. I remember
They do that Galleon game, that pirate
I don't
Galleon
know. Well,
thing, and it was like a disaster.
Well, a bit of history is that Tomb Raiders 1 through 4 had like the same like producer guy, I believe, and then he purposefully like killed off the character at the end of Tomb Raider 4. And those were like okay games. Like they were all pretty similar. Tomb Raider 4 was like a clear like we gotta take this to the next level, and then they kind of did whatever they could with the engine, and he sort of stepped out. And then someone else took over or something with Tomb Raider 5 with Angel of Darkness, and it was just terrible. Like it that almost killed the entire franchise right there.
Yeah, it did.
Mhm.
But it went
And
quiet
then-
for quite a few years after that, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it disappeared for a while, and then they rebooted it with like they remade the first one and then came out with Legends, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure the guy who made who was on the team for the first 4 or whatever came back for that one and helped to make that one. And that one was pretty good, like I mentioned before. And then it's just been kind of a slow uphill climb from that till this.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So-
like this game was getting Game of the Year nominations, and like I'm not gonna lie, this came out and GTA 5 came out the same year. And if someone said which game would you rather go and play, I'd rather play this again than GTA 5.
I don't
haven't
know
played any
about
GTA
that.
5.
That's just me personally, but I mean that's because I've played them both. I finished them
In
both.
other words, buy this game, everybody. It's really good.
Yeah. The
I
multiplayer
can't
in
speak for
GTA
them.
5
I've
is much
played
better.
it, but it looks great. GTA 5, I'm an explorer kind of guy, and with GTA games, there's
Oh, there's always plenty to
ample-
do. I think I
Yeah,
got burned
absolutely.
out. I got burned out playing through GTA 5, and I didn't like the character. Like aside from Trevor, who I loved, I didn't find the other two characters particularly interesting or engaging. Whereas Lara,
I didn't really care about the characters that much. You
Yeah.
just apply your own personality to the characters. Like
That's-
this is you. If
yeah.
I think Trevor was like he is the player in the game. They said-
Well, it's
yeah.
like, well, the game like this, I feel like it's much more story oriented. Like you're
Yeah.
supposed to be engaged with the character. So
And
like
there's still
with
plenty of
with
exploring
Grand
to
Theft
do in
Auto,
this too. Like there are all these tombs throughout the island. I only do a couple of them in this playthrough.
this- Well, is this like actually open world?
It's linked. Like each area is linked, but there's all these like tombs that are hidden away, and like they're completely optional to the main story. And if you go off the beaten path and climb up weird rock walls and stuff, then you'll
Oh,
find these
interesting.
tombs that have all these treasures and stuff, and they're
So
like
it's-
really clever puzzle like areas.
So it's
Oh.
like semi-linear then.
Yeah, it's a linear story with all this stuff on the side if you want to do it.
Then it went black.
Is that something with the
That's cool.
original?
There was this
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
and a dead body.
I just said that's cool.
Oh, sorry. I'm always afraid I'm interrupting everybody when I talk.
That's because of the
Um,
lag in Skype. It happens.
Yeah.
It's
But-
fine.
That's something with the Tomb Raider, until this point anyway, that's always been a thing, is the levels were always like really big, like staples, where it's like, Like I think they even had like level selects in the later ones, where it's like, oh yeah, this is the party level, and this is, but yeah, like that's like a very big change in this one is that there's not like a clear definition between like points in the game or whatever. Like it's just kind of like you go through a story, you know.
Well, like if you just play the story, it goes at like a breakneck pace. Like it's quick, it's snappy. The pacing in this game is probably one of the things I admire most about it. Like it never dwells in one thing for too long. There's always another set piece just around the corner. But I mean, if you are the kind of person who wants to take the time to enjoy the world around you, they've actually put all this extra stuff in there that if you just breeze through the story, you're never even going to know it's there. But if you look for it, there's so much more to it than it originally appears to be. It's really, really clever.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's like is it Tomb Raider 2, like as an example, it's like there's a very clear repeat of like we're gonna have 3 levels in one tile set basically. So it's like, oh, we're in Tibet right now, so there's gonna be like snow and monks and shit, and like that's gonna be 3 levels. There's gonna be a great big boss. You gotta shoot a bunch. And by the way, the combat in those old games is always just awful. It's like just jump side to side. You auto aim on everything. Like you don't even
the combat in this was smooth as butter.
Yeah, so it's like I remember there were bosses in Tomb Raider 2 where because you can't really dodge anything. You just sit there and shoot them, right? So it's like I would just save up grenades just to shoot the grenade launcher at them like 7 times to kill them. That's like how you had to beat all the bosses. But anyways, then you'd get so you beat those 3 levels, see a cutscene where she'd do some action thing, and then you'd go on to the next 3 levels. And that's pretty much how the whole game was until the very end.
Oh god, this is insane.
And, you know, like I said, it was very level based. Oh, burning things.
Yep, that's the main puzzle thing. That's the other thing. It's got like this kind of like Metroid sort of feel to it, where you get new items, and as you get new items, you get more.
Oh, cool.
You know, the place opens up more.
Yeah.
I like that as long as the routes aren't that long to get back to. Like, oh, it's on the opposite side of.
No, they're usually like right in front of you, basically.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's just kind of like the levels up until that point aren't based around that item, but if you go back with that item like as an option, then you'll be like, oh wow, look at this, and I found this, and there's other things here.
They made me so mad in Metroid Prime, where it's like, oh, you go do this one thing, and then you gotta go crisscross the world map like 6 times.
It didn't bother me with Prime, because there's just something about Metroid Prime. I can't wait to play through that game, because that's one of my favorite games of all time.
If you're gonna do that, you know, just make sure you have like a warp pad or something.
Yeah.
Or to that area.
Metroid's always been about backtracking.
You'll just edit out the backtracking, is it?
Or you just have both areas. You have a warp pad. If you went to both, you can just warp.
Fast travel. That's why I like because pretty soon I'll be playing through Dragon's Dogma, and there's no fast travel in. That's an open world RPG with absolutely no fast travel. Or like there's fast travel, but it's really expensive because it's supposed to be like that grueling, realistic sort of. Yeah, in real life you can't fast travel, so suck it up. And if you die on the way, then that's too bad.
You know, I just realized one big difference between with games like this. You know, like back in like the 90s or whatever. You know, when like Tomb Raider was first coming up, a lot of games back then would have you globe-trotting a lot, right? Where it's like, oh, we gotta go like cross deserts and snowy mountains, and then like as time went on, they stopped doing that, and it'd be like, well, let's have the whole game take place in one area. And now they do that all the time. Like I can't.
Well, I think that was true because back in those days, most games were like platformers and things, and they always had like their worlds. You had the lava world and the snow world.
That's true. Yeah.
You made it.
That's true, but
Banjo-Kazooie syndrome.
I remember in Tomb Raider 4 though, they said we're gonna have the entire game take place in Egypt, and people were disappointed. Where it was like just Egypt, you know.
Egypt's a pretty big place.
Yeah, and it's like...
Yeah, there's only so much you can do with Egypt, though. I mean, you want to explore so many different kind of places. I mean, maybe Egypt has a level.
They got creative with it, though. It's like, there was like your typical like sandy tombs, and then like they there was like a part where you were at like the coast, so then you had to go find like the lost library of Alexandria or whatever. So there's like lots of like water puzzles and stuff. Like they got creative with it, you know. There was like a train level.
Also, I'm sorry for the people at home about the lack of subtitles. I do apologize for that. I've gotten better with that
complain
with
about
newer
that?
recordings. Sometimes, yeah. Because they can't hear what they're saying because we're talking over it. But I mean, that's what this show's about. So, I have been in
It's
more
us
recent
talking
games,
over
I
things.
have been putting subtitles on, so bear with me.
But also ruthless
Okay.
and powerful.
We can manually put them on in post-production. Use annotation.
I'm not going back into it.
This is where
It's just post-production, put the subtitles in. You're like meticulously like typing in what they say.
Yeah, pass. Oh, look at my
Yeah,
typos.
that's
Are.
silly.
There's a lot less cutscenes as the game goes too.
That's a lot of games do that nowadays. Like
They're
the
gonna have all
beginning
their
of
exposition at the
half.
beginning.
Yeah.
Oh god, I've been playing Kingdoms of Amalur, and like the first few hours of that game, people just don't shut up.
There's a lot of games too will follow this formula where like the first like half of it will always have like this really big, or first third, sorry. There'll be some really big action sequence that's really cool, and then like it kind of gets quiet for a long time until the end.
Well, that's something this game does beautifully. Is just like there are set pieces at least once every hour. There's an amazing set piece.
Oh, good, yeah.
Bear
Or like
traps.
something interesting happen. Oh man.
That's getting flashbacks to Resident Evil 4.
Like, I mean, this is cool. Like, this is a neat sequence.
There's a few of these. There's one where you get stuck upside down too. Caught in like a
This
rope
is yeah.
trap.
This is really tense. So it's like, oh god, what's happening? You know.
Actually, the score in this game is really good too. The atmospheric effects, sound design, everything about this is just perfect.
It's like you could make a movie out of this, and like it would be good. You know.
I wouldn't want a movie out of it. I just want to play the game again.
No, yeah, I know what you mean, but it's like, you know, this is what like.
I want a
this is what
Jurassic
lot of
Park game
kids
like
wanted to
this.
be.
Give me a Jurassic Park game like this. I'll be very happy.
Yeah.
Those leaves rustling.
I know, we're all being quiet, like waiting to see what's gonna happen. Like, oh, another wolf! Oh. So what happened? Did the wolves set the bear trap?
I don't know. I don't think
I don't
they do.
know.
I don't think wolves have the ability. But I'm no wolf expert.
I don't think they have opposable thumbs, Casey.
Yeah, I don't think they can.
Did she just shoot the trap open?
You shoot the spring.
Oh, I don't know how bear traps work.
I'm so glad
I'm a civilized male.
Is Sam with
Don't
you?
understand bear traps.
Yeah,
She was
I don't
saying
have to trap
that
bears.
man
You know,
with
sometimes wild homeless men they can be a problem.
Homeless man traps. I love Captain Paddock there. You gotta have the drunk sailor man.
Wait. What about Raw?
Okay,
Yeah, like
split up. One of us go with Laura.
so
and the other
she's the
the rest
badass
of us
chick.
fan out
I
and
don't even
go
have
with
to
Sam.
like hear what she's saying to know that she's like the
let
like
me.
the chick that has to prove that she doesn't.
Alright,
need-
tell
She's
us
just
who
as
everyone
good as
is.
all
Who's
the
the
Got an
blonde guy?
attitude.
Who's the blonde guy,
Wow.
Casey?
It's all coming
The
back
blonde
to
guy,
you,
he's
Mr.
gonna
Rock.
be like the
We'll find
intelligent
Sam, this
dude.
Matthias guy.
'Cause he's got the glasses, see? He doesn't,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know, they're like sunglasses, but he's got like the blonde hair and the glasses, so
gonna be
he's
okay?
like, he's like the leader type guy that just sort of knows a lot of the stuff and is like the most level-headed and intelligent out of all of them. Oh, the rest of them disappeared, so I can't call out who they are. Damn.
They'll come back.
Okay.
They always come
Am I
back.
right though? Am I right? Or is he
Yeah,
a bad guy?
you're right.
He could be a bad guy. Oh, okay.
I'll check up.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but why can't he be both?
Oh, so he's the bad guy then. There you go.
This game doesn't do a very good job of hiding. As soon as he started talking, I was like, oh, that guy's gonna stab us in the back.
Yeah, I was like, based on how he looked, I was calling who he was, and then I heard him speak.
You're
and I was
so
like, oh, yeah.
superficial.
Blondes in video games, the blonde guys are usually the smarter ones. I don't know why that is.
It's the
They're
genes.
always that or the bad guys. I don't
So
know.
it's the genes.
I don't know. I know why. Just to get away from stereotypes that all blondes are dumb.
Oh, I thought.
No, if it's a blonde girl, they're the airhead. If it's a blonde
Yeah.
guy, they're like the intelligent.
No, I've seen
you know.
quite a few blonde guy airheads.
Yeah, the
Well, the
jock,
videos
the
will-
California.
jocks
by
will
the
have
way.
blonde hair. Anyway, thank you, Adam. Thank you, Casey, for joining me on this Tomb Raider-rific adventure. Join us next week as I forget what happens in the next one. Oh wait, no! Attempted rape. That's what happens. Watch out.
Oh no.